Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my boyfriend move into my house with his nephew even temporarily? SY23 female, inherited my grandparents' house and land last year. I'd rather have my grandparents back, but at least I'm set up with a good place to live out of college and don't have to worry about housing like a lot of my friends. I've been seeing my boyfriend Adam, 24 male, for a year and a half now, and we've been planning to move in together this summer. He would be moving to my place as right now he lives in an apartment with 3 roommates. Now, Adam has an older brother that is kind of a POS. He and his girlfriends are addicts and have been involved in shady stuff in the past, so Adam only talks to them on holidays usually. They have a son, 5 male, that Adam sends birthday cards and gifts to, but hasn't spent a whole lot of time around because of the family drama. Then, a couple of weeks ago, the worst happened, and a girlfriend died. And Adam's brother is going to be in jail probably for a very long time. Adam's mom is disabled and not in a good enough health to keep up with a 5-year-old full-time. And girlfriend's family apparently disowned her and want nothing to do with it. So that leaves Adam as a guardian for the kid or foster care. I am not a kid person. I don't dislike kids, but I had my own messed up childhood. And I would not be a good parent or be able to deal with the noise and chaos of a small kid easily. Adam knows this, as we've had the what if there's an oops and future planning conversations. So I was surprised when Adam asked about moving plans up for us to live together so that he would have space to take in his nephew. I said I wasn't okay with him bringing his nephew, and that since the situation had changed, the plan would have to be put off until something was figured out. He said there's no room for his nephew at his current place, and rent is sky high, so he wouldn't be able to afford a new place on his own. My place has plenty of room and would be perfect. And this is literally the difference between his nephew staying with family and going God knows where. We argued, and his mom has been calling me to beg me to let them stay with me for a while until they can make other arrangements. I have a feeling that a little while would turn into permanently once the kid got comfortable. Mutual friends have been telling me I'd be an a-hole for not helping Adam, at least temporarily because I'm lucky to have the space. But I really don't want my space invaded like that, and I have to deal with kicking them out eventually if nothing else comes up. Now for the top comments before reading the update. Doesn't CPS usually look to all the child's relatives? His mother's family may have disowned her, but there might be someone in her family that would take in a 5-year-old child. It already looks like Adam won't get custody of the boy, even if he had a suitable living arrangement, and he expects that to be you. Since that's a solid no, and it should be from your perspective, CPS needs to talk to the mother's family. It's admirable that Adam wants to step up, but as you say, he has no idea what that entails. And it will be worse for the boy to live with a 20-something who can't even afford a place to live by himself. Has there been any word about her family? As far as I know, nobody else has agreed to take the kid. His mom was telling me that nobody from the girlfriend's side will even claim her body, so they were trying to figure out what to do about that as well. Unpopular opinion, but you're the a-hole. Taking them in long-term is one thing, but helping them out until they find a better place is not a big ask. If you are worried, then write a lease. Talk to him and make sure he understands that this is just until they find a new place. I'm sure your boyfriend is having a hard time with this situation too. It's a lot bigger deal than that. Even with a lease, if Adam can't find somewhere and refuses to go, I would have to give them 30 days notice to move before starting eviction. And that would take at minimum like 30 days beyond that. So then I'm stuck for at least an extra month or two with 2 people in my house that I don't want there. One an angry ex, the other an already traumatized kid who will be taken back by CPS anyway if Adam is evicted with no place to go and doesn't need to be exposed to any more adults fighting an instability. This is one reason why it's obvious to me that Adam isn't ready to parent this kid. He doesn't have a plan that doesn't involve other people doing most of it for him. It seems like your boyfriend is maybe going to have to decide whether he wants to take care of his nephew or be with you. I told my husband that I would be the parent to 4 kids if anything happened to my sister or brother-in-law when we first got together. I don't want kids and neither does he, but he married me knowing there was a chance we could end up guardians. At the end of the day, it's your life, your house, and your peace. You get to decide what you're comfortable with. No a-holes here. Also, squatters' rights are a pain in the butt. There's a show on Netflix called Worst Roommate Ever, and one of the episodes is about roommates who refused to leave and the nightmares of tenancy rights. Not a-hole, but this is the end of your relationship. Yeah, Sadly, it probably is. I'd be happy to continue dating seriously without living together, because it would still be a year or two before I'd feel comfortable getting engaged and married. And that's plenty of time to work on a solution. But if it's now or bust, I'm going to have to pick bust. Feeling pressured into things is a big deal for me. Yeah, getting forced into that kind of thing by circumstance is a slippery slope to resentment and regret for everyone involved. Not a-hole, pure doing the right thing. Yes, the pressure will never end. You're absolutely making the right decision. Stop accepting calls from his mom. Block her number. You need to get yourself some new friends too. Don't let those mutual friends pressure you. If they won't accept a no for an answer now, it won't get any easier once they're in your home. Not the a-hole. Now for the updates. Well, decision made. I broke up with him last night. Reading all the responses made me realize that I don't actually want him to move in, with or without his nephew at this point. He did not take it well at all, but probably another reason this wasn't going to work in the end. Hopefully, he and his mom can figure something out together. Update 2. A small update for this. Some of you guys were totally right about his intentions. He dropped the idea of taking his nephew in a few days after I broke up with him, and called from a mutual friend's phone to ask me to take him back. I asked him why he wasn't going to take in his nephew, and he said it would be too hard to do alone. So looks like he was expecting me to help him with the kid all along, instead of just letting them stay for a while. Without a free place to live and a built-in helper, he's not interested. I did not take him back. I think the breakup was the best thing that could have happened, and I feel a lot better without him in my life. Thanks for the advice. I came from you help your family when they need it. Sounds like when things are uncomfortable, OP runs. My now ex wasn't my family. That's a super high bar of connection we hadn't gotten to yet. It would have been at least another year or two before I would have considered him a permanent fixture. His nephew isn't my family by extension. I'm on board with him helping his family though, just not at my expense. She made the right choice, and man do I feel bad for that kid. For sure. When you know, you know. And no one should ever be pressured into having kids they don't want. People have them so casually. It's life-altering if you're doing it even half-baked. It's always life-altering. But if you're doing it half-baked, it becomes the wrong kind for all parties. Hollywood has this idea of person ends up in a weird situation, gets a kid. It's hard for a while, but eventually they pull it together and it all works out for the best. It's not realistic. Kids are hard work all day, every day. And if you don't actually like them that much, there will be times where they are having a tantrum and all you want to do is scream at them. There is no getting better along the way. They will still be high maintenance. Always. Yeah. Young guy who drops the kid as soon as he doesn't have a helper? He was expecting her to do 90% of the work. Poor kid. I hope he called it in the analysis too. If she let him move in and then evicted him, she'd be stuck for 2 months with an angry ex and a traumatized kid. I think she knew how it would play out at that point. You know, I had a strong suspicion just from the first post that the reason he was pushing so hard to move in with OP is because he was expecting to just pawn the kid off on her. Would have been very convenient for him to be lauded as a hero taking in his nephew, while his girlfriend does all the actual work raising the kid. So glad that she saw this coming, before she got any further involved and noped out. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my dad it feels like my siblings and I are half-siblings because of choices he made? So my parents had 4 children together. Me 19 female, Jaden 17 male, Remy 10 female, and Jonah 6 male. 5 years ago, we lost our mom. Then a year later, Dad remarried. Jaden and I didn't mind, though we knew Dad's wife would never be our mom. Jonah was a baby and didn't remember mom, so he started to see Dad's wife as his only mom. Remy sees herself as having 2 moms. She's not as close to Dad's wife as Jonah is, but doesn't see her as a non-parent like Jaden and I. Dad asked me and my brother not to talk about mom around Jonah, in case it interfered in the relationship he built with Dad's wife. He said he would know about mom, but didn't need to hear all about her all the time. With Remy, he just said to let her ask, but try not to talk about mom around her if she didn't ask. We respected that, although we disagreed with his decision. He said we had years with mom. They were young enough that seeing his wife as mom would be healthier for them. He also said that his wife deserved a chance to be known as mom, since she'd be raising them for the rest of their childhood, and it would be over a decade for both of them. I love all my siblings, but I know Remy used to be frustrated with Jaden and me because we wouldn't celebrate Dad's wife for Mother's Day, or because we would go to Mom's grave without her, or we'd talk about Mom without her. But again, that was what Dad told us to do. Jaden even told Dad it annoyed her, and he told us to keep sticking to our word. When she did ask, we would include her. But we also didn't share the same love for Dad's wife. And with Jonah, he struggles to understand how Remy has two moms. Jaden and I are siblings, but we have a different mom. So about a year ago, he said we were his adopted siblings, and that's how we made it make sense. We started to correct him, but Dad cut us off. So we left it alone. It did mean that Jonah kind of put us in boxes away from him, as became clear when for a school project recently, he drew his family with just Dad and Dad's wife. Remy was to decide but away from the three, and Jaden and I were completely separate. He told his teacher that we were adopted siblings, but not really since we didn't have the same parents. Dad's real family was his mom and dad. This is when Dad commented to Jaden and me that it feels like we're half siblings, instead of just siblings, that our relationship is not what he thought it would be. I told him that that is because of his choices, that his desire to override Mom for Jonah, and for us to keep quiet around Remy unless she asks, means feelings and confusion have separated us. Dad told me it wasn't fair to blame him, and if Jaden and I had just been more open to his second mother, none of this would have happened. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Your dad literally told you not to explain that you weren't adopted siblings. What did he expect? He expected his explanation to make sense to a small child when Dad explained it in the most broken way possible that we were all related. He tried to say all related through him, but failed to see where confusion would come in when Jonah didn't understand different moms, multiple ones, and living together but claiming different moms. I'm pretty sure he attempted to make it simple, but simple in a full-grown man's head is not always going to be simple to a 5-year-old child. Not the a-hole. Your dad should seek out some family therapy for all of you ASAP. I don't see that happening, especially because he would have to face the reality that who Mom is to all of us is not only different, but has led to some very complicated feelings in 2 young kids, as well as a feeling of being left out. Does Jonah even know that the woman you know as Mom gave birth to him? He's supposed to, but does not appear to know that. Last story. Am I the a-hole for showing favoritism for my daughter and financially hurting my son? My ex-wife, 36 female, and I, 36 male, have been divorced for 7 years now. We have twins, 17 male and female. My wife and I are the stereotype of high school sweethearts. I'm more of a geek, she was a cheerleader. My son takes after my wife and my daughter take after me. When they were younger, I gave them the option of allowance. They could either spend the money on what they wanted to, or I could walk them through investments and savings. My wife was all for this at a time. We explained that they each have a set amount of money that we have put away for future schooling as well as a car fund. At first, both of my kids decided to invest it, and I started to show them how to and the risk involved. My son put his into a very risky investment against my advice and ended up losing it and decided not to do it anymore within a few weeks. My daughter started off rough but quickly got the hang of it, playing with different investments and companies. She has been in the positive most weeks. The issue is that, due to this, my daughter has saved up more money than her brother. She also likes to spend most of her time over at my house versus my son over at my ex-wife's house. My daughter's interests are more minimalistic when it comes to most things and does not spend a lot of money, though she will when she finds things she likes. She's not into fashion, rarely puts on makeup, and when she does, it is very light. Body used but nice car, etc. They just got their acceptance letters for college, and she will be able to pick any of her choices due to grades and her savings, plus our contributions. My son, on the other hand, spends most of his money when he gets it. Always has new clothes constantly, bunch of shoes, bought a new, very expensive car with payments, goes out all the time, and spends everything he gets. My son is upset because he can't go to the college he wants, because he would need to get a loan, and with that I make, he doesn't qualify for much. Now, my ex says I need to stop favoring my daughter and financially hurting my son and just paying for his college, among other things. Her and her side of the family are calling me an a-hole for not paying because you easily could. I told them that they had a choice when he was younger, and he didn't listen. I also pointed out the fact that if he had saved his money, he would have also been able to go where he wanted. He needed to get a job to cover costs if he wanted to go, and that life was about choices. Edited to Ed. I did keep asking him to try again through the years, but he didn't care. I gave up almost 2 years ago when he said he wanted to live almost full-time at his mom's house, and we had an argument that made me back off. I didn't just stop and drop it when he was really young. We did not give him his college fund. He has enough money in his college fund that he can attend a community college for 4 years, or a good college for 2. Nothing fancy or big. The money that was invested was allowance, or spare money. My daughter would use birthday money, Christmas money, allowance, or any extra chore money. I'm not bragging, but I could send them to the best colleges for as many years as they want, and fund their lives comfortably. I mean, you're talking about decisions made when they were kids. It's great that your daughter was smart with her funds, but it's very reasonable to expect that a lot of kids would, like your son, risk and lose money in that situation. A decision he made at an even younger, dumber age than he is at now shouldn't affect his ability to go to college if it's within your means to help him. Edit, I get that the son has been wasting a significant amount of money all along, but 1. As someone else mentioned, kids' brains are in the process of developing in their adolescence, and some are further behind than others in that process. 2. It's been obvious for a long time that in his youth, the son has not been capable of handling his money intelligently. Right now, he's 17 and still a dummy. But as he becomes 18, 19, 20 and older, he's going to be maturing and quite possibly become a non-dummy adult. What happened to that adult's college funds? Well, his dad knowingly gave those funds to a complete dum-dum. That would be rewarding son for not saving. At most, let him live at home and go to community college. If you do not teach kids that actions have consequences, they will not learn. Otherwise, he is giving more to son than his daughter. Update. My best friend was hooking up with a married man, so I told his wife. Original post. Both me and my best friend are 20 females. We had been friends for about 5 years or so. I considered her my sister because we were just that close. We tell each other everything, and she told me how she was hooking up with a married man. Mind you, he's 50-something with kids and grandkids. I told her to end it because she was being stupid. She knows that I don't condone cheating. I try to keep an open mind, but some things like cheating, I do not tolerate. But she said she's gonna continue hooking up with him because it makes her feel like good about herself. Her reasoning was that this married man would rather sleep with her than his wife, and that made her feel good about herself. I need y'all to know this. Hooking up with a married person is not a brag. It just means you are pathetic. I asked her what about his wife, and she said she doesn't care about his wife. Her words were, if his wife was being a good wife, then he wouldn't be out here sleeping with her. And that just pissed me off. I screenshot all our texts. She would send me videos of them doing it. Their text convos, their dates, all the gifts he bought her, videos of him bad-mouthing his wife, and so much more. I saved all of that. I easily found him on social media too because my friend was following him. That a-hole didn't even make his account private. He posted pictures of his wife, kids, and grandkids. From there, I found his wife on social media, followed her and sent her a DM with all the proof. Then I sent friend a text saying, which I'm paraphrasing here, that she is the scum of the earth, and I don't want anything to do with her. After that, I blocked her and everything. I sent the wife the DM about an hour ago, and she hasn't responded yet. Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Who the heck sends their friends explicit footage of themselves? That's just ew. Especially to the friend who is telling her what she's doing is wrong. It's almost like she's trying to get caught. Sending you videos of them doing it? Do people actually do this? A friend of mine did this, and he's no longer my friend now. Actually, I don't have a freaking clue why people even make videos like that. I mean, why? Are you going to do yourself later to a video of yourself hooking up? I just don't get it. Sex is a private and intimate thing, and you should be 100% present in the moment, not thinking about how it's going to look on video. It's not my thing, but I do have a friend who loves to take videos of himself and his wife. He doesn't show anyone, but apparently he and his wife like to watch the videos later, like their own AVs. I mean, if you and your partner are into it, I won't judge. It's not cool to send them to other people though. We see so many stories on this app from women whose husbands expect them to do all the childcare and household chores, and then cheat because their wife has no time to take care of herself or his needs. Your friend is naive enough to believe a cheater when he blames his wife for his decision to cheat. I hope for her sake that she never has to learn from personal experience what his wife's side of the story is. Or where a man has 2 jobs to care for the home, kids, and a stay-at-home mom, and the woman cheats because he never has time for her. If people would learn to communicate and have some empathy for each other, there wouldn't be so much of this garbage around. My husband was 55 when he died in 2020. I found out 3 days later he had been hooking up with a 30-year-old for 2 years, and that at some point, she had terminated his baby. You did the right thing. The wife will need time to process this and she may not make contact. I also have screenshots of texts and even recordings of their discussions. I'm heartbroken. That is just awful. I am so sorry you had to find out that way. Now for the updates. I just posted this because I was angry at my friend and I just needed to vent. I didn't expect the post to go off, so I logged out. That being said, screw everyone that has called me names and telling me that I am a horrible person for telling the wife. She deserves to know the truth. Like I said, I do not accept cheating. And my friend knew that, but she didn't care. But thank you to everyone that has been kind and supportive towards me. I really appreciate it. A lot of people are calling my friend a narcissist. Well, she isn't my friend, but I don't know what to call her. And I think they might be right. She always loves being the center of attention. And if the attention isn't on her, she'll find a way to bring it on her. A lot of people were hooked on the fact she sent videos of them doing it. And I should have added more context to that. So basically, she has always done that because she knows it makes me uncomfortable. Every person she has hooked up with, she has sent a video to me even though I said countless times to stop. She likes that it bothers me, and she used to make fun of me for that. I really wish it isn't happening because I lost my best friend, someone I considered my sister. Sure, even though she was a crappy friend, she was there for me during the roughest time of my life. It just hurts a little for me, but I know I'll get over it. The wife still hasn't opened a DM, or maybe she saw it and hasn't said anything. I'll make an update if she responds if y'all want. Also, my friend that I blocked, I haven't seen her in a while. I have no idea what she's up to now, but I really hope she has come to her senses. Update 2. The wife saw the DM, and she just hit the fan. I'll update you all when things cool down. I just wanted to say again, thank you all for your support. Full update. Sorry y'all for not updating sooner. I have been so busy with college and work. I'm also dealing with some other personal stuff, and it has been so very emotionally draining to the point where I do not even want to get out of bed anymore. I wanted to say once again thank you to everyone that offered me kind words and supported me. Y'all are amazing. I really appreciated it. And to everyone in my DMs and in the comments calling me a horrible person for what I did, screw you all from the bottom of my heart. Take your cheating and home-wrecking propaganda somewhere else. You will not be going to get any sympathy from me. To the people that were saying I am not a good friend because I ratted my friend out, like I said in the comments, I do not want to be friends with cheaters. Being a good friend means holding your friends accountable for their actions. My friend could not give any less of a damn that she was sleeping with a married 50-year-old man. She was getting off on that he was choosing to be with her instead of his wife. She enjoyed being a mistress. And honestly, I do not know how long she would have continued if I did not tell the wife. Also, for the people in my DMs asking to see the video of my friend doing it with a married man, y'all are disgusting and a disgrace to society. It is already soul-crushing to see someone you called your best friend be so trashy. Now on to the update. So the wife saw my DM. She texted me saying that she is incredibly grateful to me for telling her that her husband was cheating on her. She's glad that I notified her of her husband's infidelity. I told her, of course, I do not condone cheating at all. And what my friend and her husband were doing was disgusting. She agreed and said she had suspicions that her husband was being unfaithful. She once again said she was thankful for what I did for her. I wished her the best of luck with whatever she decides to do. The conversation with the wife was short, and honestly, I preferred it to be short. I was feeling guilty because I might have crushed this woman's entire life. But then I remembered I did nothing wrong. Her husband and my friend did. The very next day, my now ex-best friend was banging on my door and screaming for me to come out. I told her to get lost and that I want nothing to do with her. She was wailing and screaming at my door. I told her if she does not leave, I am going to call the cops. That must have scared her because she left right away. I apologized to my neighbors for the loud noises this early in the morning. Thankfully, my neighbors said it was all good. I have my ex-friend blocked on everything, so I did not get any messages from her. But she made burner accounts to contact me. I just ignored her every attempt to reach me. She was so desperate that she DM'd my partner on Instagram, but he also blocked her everywhere. LMAO. But that little trash had to drag the rest of our friends. She told them I was being a witch to her and spreading rumors about her, and they all ganged up on me. What rumors? You are the one sleeping with a married man here. So I told them the truth, that she was hooking up with a married 50-year-old man and bragging about it. I told him that I told his wife, and that is why she's throwing a tantrum. Me telling the truth made her come clean with our friends, and let's just say a lot of them were disgusted with her. Now, our friends are divided. Some say I should have minded my own business, and others are saying I did nothing wrong, and that the wife deserves to know. So I lost some friends, but oh well, as if I care. Now, some of them do not want her around because she might try to hook up with her boyfriends. According to a friend of ours, this made her really mad. They were telling me now how she went on a rant about how she's not going to hook up with their boyfriends. She's better than that? And someone said, well, you didn't let the fact the man you were with was married. So what's to say you won't try to hook up with one of our boyfriends? Let me tell y'all, I laughed so hard when I heard that. Imagine being surprised that people do not trust a cheater. Some of our friends work with her, and I guess they must have told the rest of her co-workers, because she is being shunned at work too. Everyone in her classes also knows that she willingly had an affair with a married man, so that is embarrassing for her. Now, I was a little curious about what happened to her relationship with that old dude, so I asked my friends about that, the ones that do not support her cheating. From what I have gathered, soon as the wife found out, she confronted the husband and asked for divorce. The husband panicked and dropped my friend. It also came to light that he was hooking up with 3 other different girls. Can you freaking believe the nerve of that man? My friend was upset because she thought she was the only one, and offended that he would do that to her. Like, girl, be freaking for real. He's a cheater. You think he was going to be loyal to you? I can't believe she actually thought he was going to choose her. That is hilarious. Although she is more upset about how she won't be pampered anymore, or be getting gifts from him. Oh, also, her parents found out, and they were extremely disappointed to say the least. So that caused some major tensions with her family too. I honestly forgot that her family might also end up getting involved, and I do feel a little bad about that because her parents are wonderful. I have no idea how she turned out the way she did. Now my friend is miserable. Most of her friends do not like her anymore. She's being shunned at work, everyone in her classes is talking about her. She lost her sugar daddy, and her family is disappointed in her. Well, that is what she gets for bragging about being a mistress. I wonder if it was worth it for her. Let this be a lesson for the people that are cheating and home wrecking. Don't do it. There are so many people on this earth. Maybe don't go after people that are taken. It is not worth it in the end. As for me, I am keeping her blocked and avoiding her like the plague. I know I am not alone. I still have some of my friends and my partner that support me. Most of all, I have all these kind strangers on the internet that also support me with kind words. Thank you all once again. My partner has booked a romantic getaway for us this weekend, and I'm excited for that. So, I'll be keeping my phone on silent for the rest of the week. Biggest question for me. How did a married dude find the time to be sleeping with 5 women at different times? Didn't he have a job? There's literally a guy on the adultery sub that has bragged about having 10+ affair partners at one time. I don't get it either. Like, couldn't they cure a disease or something with all that energy? For real. Like, try an STD to start. The fact that there's an adultery sub in the first place makes me wish more and more for a meteor. I can't wrap my head around it existing either, because I associate cheating with lapses in judgment, guilt, regret, and self-hatred. I can't even imagine that kind of people who would be proud of it. I honestly hope they all reap what they sow. She went on a rant about how she's not going to hook up with her boyfriends. She's better than that. This is hilarious. You definitely did the right thing in telling the wife. Just wait for the friend to be blaming all of this on you. Yes, it's your fault that the wife found out. Go you. But damn, everyone now knows about it all because she wanted to protect that dignity she thought she had. Go you. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What kind of low-class second-rate homewrecker do you take me for? I only go after married men. I'm not interested in your silly little boyfriend. I mean, I'm happy that she got what she deserved, but I really hope this married man will lose even more than her, because at the end of the day, he was the married one with a family. Me too. Last story. TikTok ruined my girlfriend's view about relationships. I'm starting this by saying what I've done. I've given my all since the beginning of the relationship. I've wanted to share my interests with her, learn more about her interest, and start new journeys with her. I have never cheated, nor looked at other women in any type of way. No matter how upset I may seem, I have always been loyal and doing the best for her. Now on to what I'm here for. My girlfriend's TikTok is filled with things like, your man should be doing this. Men have to do this. If your man doesn't do this, then leave him. It's completely filled with that, and that's all she sends me. A majority of them I already do/planned on doing, like date nights, spending time with her, etc. But she has it in her mind that she doesn't have to do anything in the slightest, and I'll still do everything TikTok tells me. Absolutely not. If you're expecting me to live this influencer lifestyle, then you can put the bare minimum into the relationship. I try to enjoy her interest, and even though I don't like it, I at least try. Whenever I try to share my interests, all she says is, ew, and immediately goes back to what she wants. I try to send her good morning texts and such, but they get ignored. Instead, she sends me 20 TikToks, then responds to the good morning texts hours later. When we hang out, the rare times we do, she decides to sit on the complete opposite side of the room. Every single time. She gives me no type of affection whatsoever, and her justification for all of it is, you're becoming so sassy. You've seen the TikToks I sent you. You're supposed to make me happy. I'm not supposed to make you happy. So again, why would I give her dates, trips, etc. when she treats me like some object? She loves to brag how she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't even care to show said boyfriend any type of love. And now I plan on leaving her, because I had hoped things would have gotten better. But nope. The TikToks have gotten more frequent and annoying, and I'm just done with it. I have not proofread this, nor do I plan on coming back, but I needed to get this off my chest. I'm just tired of pretending to be happy. Relationships are a two-way street. You need to sit down with her and tell her that. She's so concerned with what you can do for her, but had no interest in what you can do with her, or what she can do for you. You're not a boyfriend, you're a butler. Just dump her and find a girl that isn't an idiot. And when you dump her, make sure you record it and put it on TikTok. He needs to start spamming her with TikToks from trash men about what women need to be doing for them, because that's the equivalent of what she's doing. This, my ex-wife, was in princess mode. She spent her days comparing our life to others. While we weren't well off, we had a nice 3-bed, 2-baths we rented for under market value, had decent money coming in, 17 plus an hour, and had our needs met. Every other week we would go out for dates that we would swap who planned it. Then, her friends started getting divorced, and suddenly I could do nothing right. I would cook extravagant dinners, and she would complain about how I used garlic powder instead of actual garlic, or some minor stuff like that. On top of that, her ultimate goal was to not have to work. She dreamed of quitting her job and living off my income alone. We didn't even have kids, she just didn't want to work. And the straw that broke the camel's back was when I messed up deferment on student loans and got slapped with a wage garnishment. That meant her dream of quitting her job was over, and she filed for divorce 2 weeks later. Damn, if I had someone cooking lavish meals for me, the last thing I'm complaining about is garlic powder versus actual garlic. I'm happy your trash saw itself out. Am I the a-hole for canceling my brother's wedding? Plus update. Original post. To make a novel short, my female 27 brother male 30 met his future wife Ella, female 28, at a party 3 years ago. Honestly, we never got along, but I always try to put up a peaceful front because my brothers seemed blissfully happy with her. Ella was mean to me a lot, like a lot. She would make comments about my weight, my makeup, and especially my dog. She hated animals and hated that I would bring my lab toast to my parents' or my brother's house. It always just felt like something aimed to hurt me. When the two got engaged, she asked me to be her maid of honor, since she has no sisters or many girlfriends. And since my brother seemed thrilled, I obliged. What I failed to realize when I accepted the role was that, to her, maid of honor meant planning the entire wedding. Like I was looking for venues, florists, jazz band, everything. Even worse, she expected me to put my credit card down for all of it. My brother and her are not exactly well off, and since I have a well-paying job, I didn't mind holding the deposits, but it was starting to add up to a lot. Every time I asked Ella about it, she would say that it would all be paid back by her parents before the wedding. Well, flash forward to last week, about 3 months before the wedding, and she was unbearable to be around. She can't last more than a few sentences before snapping at anyone. So when I of course brought up the money, crap hit the fan. I asked if she had received the updated receipts of everything owed when she exploded. She called me a whole line of terrible names. But the one that stuck out was her saying, "What do you need the money for anyway? Your sick dog is dead now." My beautiful Toasty died about a month before this, after he fought the bravest battle with cancer. He was my sole dog, and I was devastated. I blinked at her and simply left the room, having no energy to even respond to something so cruel. I went back to my car, and after the 20 silent minute drive home, I parked the car and immediately called the vendors and canceled any deposit under my card. Every single one. After almost 20 calls, all that was left of her wedding was the dress and a flower arch. I texted my brother a short explanation, and I told him that every vendor would be contacting him if they wished to keep their services, and they were now responsible for covering everything, and that I would no longer be attending. It was a matter of minutes before my phone started to explode and I just turned it off. It's been a few days, and I haven't talked to anyone but my mom, who thankfully understands where I'm coming from. My brother has tried to call, but I just feel terrible, both about what I did and about what she said. I know what I did was extreme, but I also couldn't sit by and practically enable her cruelty anymore. I still can't help but feel bad for ruining my brother's big day. So I don't know, am I the a-hole for this? Not the a-hole. They were never going to pay you back. It's a good thing she showed how wicked she was before he got stuck with a bill. I'm sorry about your loss. Don't let anyone make you feel bad about what you did. They shouldn't be getting married if they don't have the money. If her parents were going to pay, they can put down their card for deposits. When you give family money, don't ever expect to get it back. I hope the brother is good and dumps the fiancé. Otherwise, he's not that good of a person. Very true. They would never pay back. They are so entitled, and it's beyond belief. Also, an easy way to see a person's true colors is to watch out for their response/treatment to animals. Her hate for animals and a nasty comment on OP's dog reveals how terrible she inherently is. Stand your ground, OP, not the a-hole. Now, OP, since you probably aren't going to the wedding, that block of time is still freed up. Why don't you take a day or two and go someplace special? Someplace nice, just for you. You deserve it. Not just to make up for the way the bride treated you, but because of the loss of your dog. Not the a-hole. That's a fantastic idea. With the deposit money she gets back, OP could go to a nice resort or treat herself to spa day. I don't think I'd like to leave my house or vehicle unattended during that time, unless you have roommates to keep an eye on things. That's just me, having some experience with the vindictiveness of mean people. She was going to take you for all that money and was just using you. Your brother was allowing it. The comment about your dog was incredibly crappy. I'm sorry about your loss. Not the a-hole. Nah, brother is too Twitter-baited to tell the evil queen from Snow White. Now for the update. People ask about me paying. Well, Ella was promised a hefty wedding budget when she was younger. But between those years and the pandemic, they had to dip into that wedding fund. In the end, Ella only got a third of what she was promised. She insisted that most of what she had to go to the dress, but she would drone on about how there were so many things the wedding wouldn't have, and how it wouldn't be the wedding of their dreams. It was only like a week after that my brother came up and asked if I could cover a few costs of the wedding, while Ella's parents made up the rest to pay it back. I do make a considerable amount more, and since this would be my brother's wedding too, I agreed. Stupid, I know. Second most discussed was Ella's treatment of me. Truthfully, she played a nice and loving girlfriend well the most, especially my brother. Even I thought she turned a new leaf a few times, but it would never last. Some of the comments she made wouldn't be always outwardly mean enough for a passerby to pick up, aka my brother. Along the lines of, "Oh, are you sure you want to go out in that? Something looser might be more comfortable." Or, "I would loan you a shirt, but I don't want it to stretch out." Mean girl comments, simply put. She lost many friends over her crazy notion of them being jealous of her, even accusing them of being in love with my brother. She had 2 other bridesmaids in the wedding, but they were barely close as well. Someone said it in the comments about being stuck between seeing Snow White and not being able to see the evil queen within. And that's the best way to describe her. She's beautiful, but something is rotting inside. And the most asked, if did they stay together? I caved and finally answered my brother last night. From what he said, they are on a break. My brother had picked up on a few instances of her acting questionably but hoped it was wedding stress. He was fuming when he found out what she said. And I do know she no longer has the ring now. My brother and I's relationship is definitely going to need some repair, but I think after a long communication break and setting up better boundaries for partners and respect as siblings in the future, we should be okay. Also, yes, I did lose some money. Just as predicted, she hoped I would end up gifting the payments anyway. Ella had told my brother that she was waiting for a surprise check from her grandparents to completely pay it off, but that check didn't exist. Thankfully, the no longer to be in-laws have agreed to sell the dress to pay me back for what I did lose, instead of legal action. Lastly, to my boy Toast. All of your sweet comments made me cry for an embarrassing amount of time. Lol. I hope I made him proud. There will never be a day I don't defend that dog with everything I have. He is being lovingly remembered by his family and his little brother Crumb. Did Ella reach out to you? Yes, but we haven't spoken. She followed me out to my car that day when she realized I wasn't turning around. I just ignored her and drove away as she started to progressively get more mad. She blew up my phone and was the main reason I had to turn it off. She continuously said I was being selfish for making this time about me. Even tried to convince my brother the sick and twisted version where I was the one who went off. From what I know, no one from my family has spoken to her, including my brother, the last 2 days. If her future sister-in-law had kept her charade for a few more days, she would have gotten everything. So glad this blew up in her face. She never put up a front. She was too nice helping. She only asked her to be the maid of honor so that she could use her. She posted how the anal wart always had something bad to say about her. It was a very low-effort charade if it allowed her to be a mean girl full-time, even in front of the brother. And she went and screwed it up anyway, lol. Some guys are just that oblivious to the mean girl / AITA relative things. It took my eldest son calling out his dad in front of father-in-law and mother-in-law to get him to realize, oh yeah, my parents treat my wife like crap compared to my significant others. So this person wanted her to finance her wedding and still treated her like trash? And her brother just went along with it? Some people. Every time I read something like this, I ask myself, how dumb does a person have to be to treat those who make their lives easier like garbage? Next story. Am I the a-hole for being upset that my daughter didn't invite her siblings to her wedding? I, 47 female, had my daughter Claire while I was in college. She was definitely an oops baby, but I love her all the same. Long story short, I got married when I was 30 and have 2 kids with my husband, 10 male and 7 female. They are, of course, Claire's younger siblings, but I don't think she loves them like siblings. When she came home from college for the summer, she always spent time with her friends and cousins, and never with her siblings. I asked her to watch them so that my husband and I could have a break, but she said she was too busy. But I know that she had time because she didn't have kids or a job. Anyway, Claire recently sent out invitations for her wedding. Her fiancé is a good guy, but he always encouraged Claire to spend time with his family instead of ours. And more importantly, he always wanted her to spend time with him and away from her siblings. Regardless, I've been polite and cordial with him. However, when I saw the invitations, I was appalled. You guys, their wedding is child-free. Children are the most important thing in our family tradition. To not include them in her wedding is a slap in the face to everything our family stands for. Even so, I respected her decision. However, when I called her up to confirm that her younger siblings were still invited, she laughed in my face. I understand not wanting all her cousins and nieces and nephews there, but to exclude her own siblings is heartless, and I told her as much. She called me entitled for trying to dictate what she does with her own wedding, and when I tried to explain I was just looking out for my other kids, and that she's not my only kid no matter how much she wishes she was, she hung up on me. Now she's not speaking to me. Am I the a-hole? And how can I get her to include her siblings? Now for the top comments. You're the a-hole. If she doesn't love them like siblings, you obviously did something wrong. I have much younger siblings and I love them. The difference is, my mom made a big deal of socializing us together despite my bro and I being adults. There is also the factor that my stepdad is always stepping up in our lives and bringing us together as family through dinners and other events. There is history there, I can tell. Suck it up and apologize. None of this is her problem. It's yours. Seems pretty telling that Claire is the only kid not important enough to get her age mentioned. Oh, but she loves her all the same. Wouldn't it make you sick all the same? My heart goes out to Claire. What do you mean you were just looking out for your other kids? Looking out for them how? Do you even care, or are you just pissed? Secondly, she doesn't have to wrap her life around her siblings. There's a huge age gap. She doesn't have to babysit and she doesn't have to invite them. You're pointing fingers everywhere else except inward. She obviously is feeling some type of way, so why not try and understand why your daughter is distant? You're the a-hole. 100%. Two young kids don't want to sit through a wedding. OP is talking out her behind. I'm 46, and I don't want to sit through a wedding. Or even a reception with a sit-down dinner. No kid wants to sit around dressed up in an uncomfortable shoes, while adults try their best to ignore them in less photos. Last story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let a guy in my friend's bachelor party cheat on his wife in our Airbnb? Recently got back from a bachelor party for Kevin, male 28. It was not my kind of thing. Drinking for 3 days straight and partying, but fun to see him and some buddies. Kevin decided to invite a childhood friend of his who has always been a troubled person. We will call him Ted, 29. Ted, in my opinion, is an actual psychopath. We will leave it at that. I can elaborate more if y'all desire. On the second night, we all go out to the bars around 10 p.m. to dance and drink more. My brother showed up, and we all had a blast. As we are all getting ready to bar hop, Ted is missing. We scatter and try to find him to let him know we are leaving, but nobody can find him. We decide to stick around at the same bar after quickly checking a few others with part of the group. Around 1:30 a.m., we are all getting ready to leave and we spot Ted with 2 girls. When we ask him what the heck he was doing, he says, "I'm bringing these b****s back with us. They are DTF." We all groan, and I personally wanted to say absolutely not, but Kevin did put up a fight, so I was like, whatever. After an uncomfortable ride back, we all go up to the apartment Airbnb and get ready for bed. Except Ted, who is still outside with the girls. I decide to sleep on the couch, since my shared bed is with an extremely drunk guy I don't want throwing up on me. Ted comes in at 3:30 a.m. with one of the girls and tells me to get up, that it's his bed. I say, no, absolutely not. You can sleep on the floor or in with a drunk guy. He gets aggressive and grabs my shoulder to pull me up, and I stand and pin his arms to his side, then repeat what I just said. After the confrontation, Ted goes back to my room to do something, then comes out and leaves with a girl. He returns at 4:30 a.m. He was really mad that I blocked him. I fundamentally disagreed with his choices and wanted to stand up for what I thought was right. My reasons being 1, we all paid for the Airbnb, and 11 of us, all engaged or married in a cramped space, don't want to hear that going on. 2, he is engaged. 3, he never once asked Kevin if it was okay to bring a girl back at all. Following this, I found out later he destroyed my AirPods Pro and cologne to exact his revenge. So now I'm taking him to small claims court after his pat on my face and refused to make it right. He also alleged that I assaulted him, which is just not right. I pinned his arms to prevent conflict, as he is 5 inches shorter than me and made of Play-Doh. Am I the a-hole? Edit. I'm happy to consider both sides, but those of you saying I blocked him is a really poor argument in my opinion. Why do it in a cramped Airbnb when you can just get a hotel? I feel like he was doing it just to show off. Not the a-hole. Even if you had been wrong to block him, which I don't really think you were, as he was involving all of you in his infidelity by bringing her back to the shared Airbnb that didn't even have a room in. He escalated by making it physical and destroying your property. Good luck on the claim. Hope you win. Thank you. It's my first claim, as I have been lucky enough to never have had friends that would even think to do something so petty. I really hate we couldn't resolve it out of the court, but he basically replied to my request with F you. Not the a-hole. Sounds like he's the kind of friend that's felt sorry for, but no one has guts to tell him no. It's a friendship affair almost. As for the assault, he pulled at your shoulder first. I sincerely hope Ted's fiancé finds out about his shenanigans and dumps him. That makes sense. I was wondering why nobody else was saying anything. They might just think it isn't their problem or feel bad for the dude. By the way, you are extremely perceptive to gather that from such a short story, as that is word for word what a lot of the men in the Bachelor party said that didn't know him. So instead of small claims court, the better revenge would be to contact the fiancé and let her know. I would have outed him in front of the girl. Do you think your fiancé would approve of you sleeping with her? Not to worry, you still have the opportunity to tell his fiancé now. A girl who will go and sleep with a stranger from the bar in an Airbnb with 10 other guys in it is not likely to clutch her pearls at the thought of the dude being engaged, lol.